Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to do a quick blog for the subscribers and folks looking at our YouTube channel. Um, Actually, we're in Atlanta right now. We've been in Atlanta for the past 2 days and had several doctor's appointments with Jacob. We had 3 appointments yesterday and like 2 or 3 appointments today. But the interesting thing is I run into one of the educators from the trach unit when Jacob had the trach put in, and I was talking to her and told her a little bit about our YouTube channel and was telling her what we were doing, as far as letting people know about how to take care of trachs and trach care and that sort of thing, and she was really impressed with it. She said that she wanted to check it out, and she suggested doing a video or a blog talking to parents of kids that's going to have a trach, and let them know kind of what to expect, and and sort of erase some of the fear. I will say this, nothing I can tell you, nothing that I can say is going to make you not worry. It's not going to make you less afraid, I guess, of the trach. The trach's a big thing, or it was for us anyway. Me most especially. I had a very difficult time accepting the fact that Jacob was going to have a trach. But it was in that meeting with all the team of doctors and ICU staff and clinical coordinators and all this. We had to have a sit-down meeting with them, and they basically told us that we had 2 options. Our first option was that we could take Jacob home and he would die of natural cause, or we could have the surgery and have the trach put in. So it wasn't a whole lot to think about, I mean, we was not ready to let our child die of natural cause, which would be very soon, they said. We was not ready to do that, and never will be ready to let our child die. That's not something that we're prepared for, never will be prepared for, even though we know our child is terminally ill. But with that being said, we made the decision right then and there in that meeting to move forward with the trach surgery. And so this surgery was set up in a matter of like 48 hours, 72 hours at the most. So we only had like 2 or 3 days in which we were currently in the intensive care unit when all this took place. As far as knowing that we had a long road ahead of us of training, they said most people it takes, what did they say, how many weeks?
6 weeks.
Most people, they said it takes most people 6 weeks to complete the trach training. It took us a total of how long?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. So we did it in half the time. But now that took both of us being here 24/7, never hardly leaving his side, being in the room with him nonstop, talking to the doctors, talking to the nurses, observing what they were doing, and basically taking the initiative to say, hey, I want to do this. Hey, let me do this. That's the biggest thing, is showing initiative. If you're willing to show the initiative to learn and to get it done, you can get it done in a faster time than 6 weeks. But a lot of parents are not as fortunate as we were. I have a job, which, I'm an educator, and so I'm able to be off pretty much when I need to with Jacob. My boss, he understands, and he, he's a family man himself, and he, in which the Board of Education in general, they feel that family comes first. And so I'm very fortunate to have a job that I can do that. And my wife is very fortunate that she's able to stay home, and and she doesn't have to worry about a job or anything like that. So it worked out in our benefit to where we could both be here. We have a good support system at home. As far as my parents, they help out. They take care of the other two kids, and when we have to be up here in Atlanta with Jacob. So we have a good support system, and I would say, number one, that's the main thing you've got to have, is a good support system. If you do not have a good support system, it's going to be hard for you, especially if you have other children. But all in all, as far as to ease your mind about the trach, it is a big surgery. It is a lot. It's a lot to take in. But, guys, it's not the end of the world. It's not, and that was one of the biggest things for me, is it's like, oh my God, things are going to change so much now, because we've got all this equipment that we're going to be on, a ventilator, and we got this trach tube that could easily come out at a moment's notice. And I told my wife, I said, it's the end of the world for us as far as being able to go anywhere and travel and go places. I mean, it's just not going to happen, And I pretty much told myself in my mind that, once we get Jacob home, that's it. I'm not leaving the house with him. And you can't do that, guys. You've got to be able to get out. You've got to be able to live life normally, or as normal as possible, with a disabled child. And so first and foremost, don't become a hermit. Don't shut yourself down and shut yourself in your home. Get out as much as you can. We do with Jacob. I mean, right after we got out of the hospital from having the trach done, we took a family vacation to Daytona and stayed at the beach and took Jacob out on the beach, took Jacob to the pool. We were very, very cautious and very careful about getting him in the water and stuff like that because of the trach. But, I mean, still, we took our family on a vacation and we had a good time. And so you can't just stop living life. And they're going to teach you everything you need to know as far as pack and go, which is a big thing. Having all your stuff in one area in a book bag, and taking that book bag with you at all times. And we do ours. Every doctor's appointment we've been to here in Atlanta, we have our trach bag with us, which is an emergency bag. If his trach comes out, we have other backup trachs in that bag. If our suctioner quits suctioning, we have a backup suctioner in that bag, a manual suctioner. And you'll learn about all that. And so don't get to the point to where you say, well, this is the end of the world. This is the end of life as we know it. Because it's not. It's not the end of life. It's the beginning of a new life. It's a beginning to a new way of living, so to speak. Because it has opened so many doors for Jacob. This trach has. Jacob was, before he had this trach done, he was 100% dependent on oxygen. He could not be off of oxygen for 2 minutes. I mean, you could literally take him off oxygen for 2 minutes and he would start turning blue. And so we had got up to the point that we were on 4, almost 5 liters of oxygen, which was extremely high for him. When we first come home from the hospital with him, he was on a total of like a half a liter to a liter. So that shows you how much he declined before we had the trach. We were, like I said, about 4.5, 5 liters of oxygen at all times. And guys, I'm telling you, it's just amazing to see my child without nasal cannula in his nose and tape on his face to hold it on, and to hold the cannula in place. And it's not near as restrictive for him. I mean, he's able to actually enjoy life a lot more. And we're able to enjoy life with him a lot more. And so the trach, which we thought in the beginning was the worst thing in the world that could possibly happen to us, ended up being the best thing in the world that could possibly happen to us. And I will tell you this, I wish to God, Jacob is now 3 years old. I wish to God we would have had it done when he was first born. And we could have saved a lot of heartache, a lot of trouble, a lot of times that we almost lost him. If we would have just went ahead and had the trach done in the beginning. But, and we had that choice. I mean, in the beginning, we had that choice. They suggested doing a trach, and we fought it. And we fought it tooth and nail to the point that they said, okay, we're not going to do it, you know. But if he continues to deteriorate, we're going to have to make some tough decisions. And so they put the ball in our park, and they let us rock and roll for a little bit until it come to that point to where, hey, we got to make some tough decisions. And the decisions were to either let him die or either do the trach. And so, like I said, it was not a hard decision for me to make when it's put to me that way. And so don't worry. Don't stress out over this trach thing, okay? It's a new beginning for you. It's a new beginning for your child. And Jacob, like I said, he has made a 100% turnaround from what he was prior to receiving the trach. And so, but I'll end this video with this note. Just learn as much as you can. Watch YouTube videos, you know. Watch my video. But watch other YouTube videos as far as about trach care, how to take care of a trach, what to expect with trachs, stuff like that. Watch those videos. But don't let them scare you, because that stuff is not nearly as hard as it looks. And it's very easily learned, okay? Anybody with any common sense can take care of a person with a trach. It's not hard. It's not hard at all, okay? So anyway, subscribe to my channel and like my channel. And stay tuned for another video, okay? I'm not sure when I'll get to upload it. I actually did a video the other night about changing the trach out. But for some reason it was hard. It wouldn't download. And so I may have to end up redoing that video. But anyway, I will eventually get it to upload. So please make sure to subscribe, and like my channel. And stay tuned for more videos. Talk to you later. Bye.